And for me, the learning has been also to learn different part of myself that I did not, let me say, knew before. Having a big team to lead, people to develop into new roles, into new functions, and at the same time, I also discovered that I really have pleasure into it. I really enjoy that, to see people moving and developing themselves. And being an employee, the term entrepreneurship, even in a corporation, I see myself as an entrepreneur with what I do. So because my role, I live it as if it's my own company, looking how the startups evolve, how even big corporation today start from a small garage and become a big corporation. Is a process, and that's just something that inspire me to see how people, from nothing
to become something,
create something big.
Hi, I'm Sabiya Pathan Withoeck, and welcome back to Rooted and Routed. We're back with a special guest in the new year 2025, the first guest of 2025. Let me welcome Landry Tchapda. He's a German expat. I have known Landry for a couple of years now, but again, as I said before, podcast gives me a different opportunity to know my friend much better in a different light and with different lenses. Let me welcome and see what we can uncover from Landry. Landry, welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad that you have allowed me to use your space for the podcast. It's a lovely house. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Sabiya. My pleasure.
So, as I said, that you have been an expat before, you have been in India,
Yeah.
and now you have moved to Melbourne,
Yeah.
and you work with ContiTech
Yeah.
as the head of plant management, or you also call it plant manager.
Yeah.
You have been in India, but I'm sure you have traveled the world for work, and you have, I think you're Cameroon born,
Yeah.
but then you studied in Germany. Let's hear from you, your background.
Yeah, my name is Landry Tchapda. Everyone can refer to me as Landry, and it's a pleasure for me to sit here together with you, Sabiya, and have this conversation. Feel honored to be able to have this discussion with you today. Yeah, coming back to your question, indeed, I was born in Cameroon. That is a country in Central Africa. Some people will see it as West Africa, but when I was going to school in my early years, it was still referred to as Central Africa. So that is where I was born. I grew up until age of 18, where I moved to Germany for my study. So I have a background in printing technologies that I acquired from the University of Wuppertal, that is in the west part of Germany. And after the study, I started working with Continental. So therefore, my journey with the company is quite long, and I've been moving from different locations. Lately, after more than 10 years in Germany, then to India, where I spent 5 years, and last year we relocated to Melbourne. And that, of course, it's only the work part. But I'm also a family person, married with my wife Betty since 12 years, and we have 4 children. And
Beautiful
yeah,
children.
we have been, thank you very much. Yeah. So we have been traveling also around as a family. So going back when we moved from Germany to India, we had 2 sons born in Germany, and in India we have been blessed with a daughter.
Yeah.
And here in Australia too, since we arrived, we have a young daughter. So
Yeah.
2 boys and 2 girls.
That's
you
you
on
all.
3 continents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. They say like the king, right, to have a daughter and a son.
That's
You're
correct.
blessed with
Yeah, with
two
both.
sons and 2 daughters. So yeah, you're a king.
Exactly.
Yes, it right. With you living in these multiple countries and raising children, um, how has this influenced your perspective on your personal growth and resilience?
Yeah, I think that when we talk about maybe personal growth, it's first a question of an individual, right? Because it's something personal to one person. So it means that the point of reference for each person, each individual is different. So, and what I've seen into these different continents where I've lived, is that the starting condition for the majority
Yeah.
in these different countries are different. So the level of the infrastructure, the level of the education, the quality of the life, the health system, the school system. So everything is different. And what is maybe for me something that is a big, impact or big growth might be for someone else something normal,
Yes.
right? So from this perspective, I think that what I've seen and what have impacted me is really the to every time think about your starting position, your initial starting point, and based on that to define, where you want to grow to, where you are moving into, or what you aspire to, because that also really depends or impact sometimes,
Yeah.
maybe wrongly,
Yeah.
uh, what you see as your purpose in life in many cases. So being in a specific environment, it's sometimes difficult to see something outside of this, right? But now traveling around, you see that many things are possible, even if you think that it's
You discover,
not
isn't
possible.
it? You discover possibilities, things which were probably just not possible before. And once you really are on the path, discover far more impossible possible things.
Correct. So you see that things that maybe you have been thinking not possible are possible, maybe in different ways, because
Yeah.
the diversity on views, on opinions, on life experience also push people to think differently or to act differently. And that widen your horizon and enable you to think differently or to take maybe different approach that you did not have before. So, and I think that is one thing that has impacted me. Uh, and yeah, I think it's has been a rich experience.
And this has shaped really your approach to challenges as well, isn't it?
Mm.
So the challenges, whether it is, as you said, when you see the possibilities, it comes with challenges.
Mhm.
And those challenges, based on how you are, you take it on.
Yeah, that's correct because challenges is sometimes a very big word, right? So something that I would see as a challenge might not be a challenge for someone else or vice versa. Um, but I think that important is that when you when you see the world in a positive manner, right? So glass half full rather than half empty. So then there's a way, there's a path to it, there's a way to overcome obstacle. There's a way to be successful. There's a way of it's not the end.
Yeah.
Because it helps you to see that today the sun is shining and tomorrow the sun will shine again. So it's a cycle of 24 hours. And that is the same. So today the glass is half full and that's something positive into it. And tomorrow maybe it will be more fuller.
But you're a very positive person overall, right?
That's
Optimism
correct.
is something that is um, in you, which really you take with you as your personality to your personal life, to your professional life. How do you balance in this fast paced and challenging phases that you go through? How do you balance the family life, the balance of work, family life, your personal aspirations, what you want to do, your desire, your passion? How do you balance that? I know it can be you do it well because you're a positive person, but they also call it sometimes, and some people are too positive.
Mm.
I would like to hear from you. What is your take on it? Like
balancing the different facets of your life, and then is it really true that being is there something called as too much positive?
Mm. Yeah, look, I think that certainly it's a valid question. And I will say that it's a question of perspective again. So, um, the positiveness first, or the way how you see the world, start from my point of view on how you see yourself, right? So, you first need to know yourself. It's simply say, but it's a big question of life to work on yourself to really understand what makes you tick.
What makes you tick?
Who are you, right? So, what motivates you? What inspires you? What do you need to function to be your true self? So, I think that is a question that is very deep and that needs a lot of work to be there. And for me, that is work that I've done and where I know that I need to be positive because that is where I get my energy. That is where I get the fuel that I need to be able to have a high level of energy every day. So, and of course, some of the, what I need to help myself to be positive is to work out, a lot of sport, to have a physical health, healthy body, to have also mental healthy body or spirit, and of course to exercise and exercising in different form. I walk out at home. I exercise at home, outside. I love to play golf. So for me, that's the ultimate relaxation.
So
That's
your
my
passion.
passion.
Okay,
I can
right.
really say that's something that I really, really enjoy, and that helps me to disconnect from everything that I do and to refuel. I also do from time to time. I like to do mindfulness. Even if I will not say every day, but at least regularly, 3 4 times a week.
That's fair.
Yeah, I love reading, reading books. But I would say, of course, without mentioning the family will not be complete. It's come at first position to spend time with my wife, with the kids, traveling. That is something that we see in our life. We've been doing a lot. Yeah, that is what recharge me.
Okay.
Yeah.
and I know that you don't have the passion of just playing golf or reading books, but with reading books, you also have the passion of really understanding the journeys of entrepreneur life or the startup journeys.
Yeah.
What is it that you observe about their transition?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question, and it's maybe also linked to the other point that we touched upon before.
Yeah.
On life purpose, what motivates
The
you.
purpose of life. Okay.
Exactly. So, and one thing that I've discovered is that I really like to see people succeeding,
Okay.
helping people discover their potential, their talents, and helping them, developing and strengthening this potential to become a stronger leader or person or individual to be really their true self. So that's something that I really like. And in the scope of my work that I do today, leading a company as a plant manager, or even creating or building a new company from scratch. Even for corporation, there's a lot of, let me say, learnings that comes out of this process. And for me, the learning has been also to learn different part of myself that I did not, let me say, knew before, being faced with, having a big team to lead, people to develop into new roles, into new functions. And at the same time, I also discovered that I really have pleasure into it. I really enjoy that, to see people moving and developing themselves. And being an employee, that's the term entrepreneurship. Even in the corporation, I see myself as an entrepreneur with what I do. So because my role, I live it as if it's my own company. That is how I fulfill my role, my work today. And of course, I cannot be at the same time create a separate company outside. And therefore, for me, seeing startups that are starting with an innovation, with an idea, and giving them some support in terms of, if it's knowledge, if it's experience, if it's a conversation, if it's giving some inspiration, exchanging views and opinion, I really just like it and enjoy it. So therefore I spend my time in looking how these startups evolve, how even big corporation today start from a small garage and become a big corporation. Is a process, and that's just something that inspire me to see how people, from nothing
To become something.
create something big.
But it's like unending, isn't it?
That's correct, yeah.
Because it's not like you've like seen 10 startup journeys and now you've covered it all, you know it all. There's always something interesting in every startup, I think so.
Yes, I mean, and every startup today that is created is maybe not going to be successful. Some of them will have to close or fail because of several reasons. Maybe the customer that hasn't been focused on, maybe it's the process, maybe other people, the team, and so on. Nevertheless, out of all of them, you can also learn from mistakes, and I also see which are the learning that I have by getting involved into it. How can I also learn things from my own work?
Yeah, nice.
Right? So,
Yeah.
or for me as a person. So if that's just a topic of personal interest.
Yeah.
And I just love it.
It's amazing, right? Like, so you imagine yourself like I would be in that position, and if this mistake happens, I will make sure the next time I will not do
the
that
same
mistake,
mistake.
right? Yeah?
Yeah.
And that is something that is a free, how do I say, a tool out there to learn. It's not in the book.
Exactly. So
You're just observing it and you're learning it, and it's a free tool for everybody, in fact.
Indeed, the source of communication that we have available for us today in this generation is just not to be compared with 20, 30, 40 years ago when we're not maybe on this earth. So it means that the access to information is just so easy that if you want to learn something, if you want to acquire new knowledge, new skill, it depends on you first.
Yeah.
It comes from inside. So you want to put what is required, the necessary discipline, the interest, going through it to learn it. And when you like something, when you really enjoy something, it's not a burden. It's not feeling like have to walk.
Yeah.
It's just just getting the benefit or the pleasure out of learning and discovering new perspective that enrich your life.
With the process of your discovering, the way you have been doing it, that helps in your work environment because you have diversity in your work environment. So discovering new learnings, do you adapt and apply to your work as well?
Yes,
Because
of
you
course.
have a multicultural setup, I'm sure.
Mhm.
And with that becomes very difficult to bring in some kind of a mindset and at the same time respect the diverse people that you have around.
Yeah, I will not say that is absolutely the case because in any type of working environment, the first thing or the first objective is what you do as a company, right? So independent on the people that represent the company. So it means that or the background of the people that work for the company. So I think that the purpose or the vision or the mission of a company depends on the people who design that. So it means that are human beings.
Yeah.
So I don't really see it as, the precondition to have, a type of homogeneity in terms of background to be able to be successful. I see it as something enriching to have different perspective,
Okay.
even when you are defining a vision for a company, to have people that bring different perspective into the picture, because at the end,
Okay.
this vision, this purpose that you define, the why of
Yeah.
why you exist as a company or even as an individual,
Yeah.
but remaining in the scope of the company, is something that you develop together
As a team.
as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned it before, thinking positively versus
Again, so you are, since you're positive, you bring
so
it.
is how, and I think that is also key for a leader, is how do you motivate and make sure that you get the best out of each individual in the team to achieve this purpose of the company. That is the role of a leader, regardless of many other factors.
Yeah.
And of course, there are challenges, maybe language challenges, language barrier can be there, many other type of barrier, because diversity is not only a question of origin, it can be the gender, it can be, the intellectual background. So if you have a team only of electrician or only mechanician and philosophers and so on, it will be very challenging in these very homogeneous groups to, to also develop something together. So therefore, it's, from my point of view, the diversity of these different aspects need to be considered when you do something.
But that I'm sure is a challenge, even to kind of grasp and observe and look around the people that you have, and then I mean, it comes with the experience, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
it's not an easy job to really gauge what each and every member of the team can bring to the table.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree that there are challenges. On the other side, the role of a leader, from my perspective, is also really to be able to understand each team member, to understand their strengths, their weaknesses, and to know how um, to place them in a team and to let them have, a place at the table. Because as a team, to be able to be developed to high performance, you need everyone to know his role, and to be aware and feel confident that I have a say, I have a place on the table, and I also expect from each individual to know that your view is welcome and is even respected. So so therefore creating this environment where people can really feel heard, uh, and feel that they can participate. I think it's one big part of leadership that you need to have in mind while leading a team, regardless if it's a very diverse team or not.
I think it's crucial, and what you're saying is indeed right. And I'm sure it's difficult for many leaders to look at that. Maybe sometimes they feel like we have a target, and this is my vision, and I want the team to just follow that.
Yeah,
It's the individual choice. And they're different kinds of leaders. So they're also leaders, and maybe not every leader has a chance to have all and each and every member participate and voice your opinion, bring it to the table.
Yeah, I think that certainly that's the case. My perception is, what is that I want to achieve? What is that I aspire to,
Yeah.
right? So if you want to create a high performing team, it means that you also have to understand that it's not about you as an individual or as a leader. It's about the team. It's about uh, the organization. It's not about individual. It's not about the vision of one person.
Yeah.
It's a vision for the venture that you are having or that you are working for. So therefore, it requires a lot of. And I agree with you at this point. It requires a lot of wiseness to be able to step back
Not just about
and
me.
let other shine, because it's about that. It's about letting other shine for me.
Giving them a chance also to success, because then your success is going to be much higher than your individual success.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even to give them a chance. That's your role. To
Yeah.
let them succeed or to make them succeed. That is how I see it. So
Yeah, that's a perfect one.